Caitlin Clark, almost unanimous, -1. Angel Reese received one first place vote for Rookie of the Year.
Stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is.
When a WNBA legend was exposed for secretly planning against Caitlin Clark and the Rookie of the Year race, no one knew which veteran player had gone too far by paying one journalist to vote against Clark. You might feel upset because you probably supported her all season thinking she was a true icon, but she was secretly boiling with jealousy.
So we've got somebody out there who is casting votes for Angel Reese. I say somebody. I mean, I suppose it could have been one person who voted for Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year and another person who voted for Angel for MVP.
Why? Because Clark became the main star in just one season, which took this legend many years to build. Want to hint? Well, on the day Caitlin Clark won the WNBA Player of the Year, this so-called legend took the biggest prize. If you think you know who it is, get ready. This story goes much deeper than just one bad vote.
That somebody is trolling Angel Reese because these are sports people, supposedly. These are members of the media. These are people who write about sports, who broadcast about sports.
And trust me, so far you've only been told the very basic numbers, like how Caitlin Clark put up an unbelievable 19.2 points a game, handed out 8.4 assists like it was nothing, and pulled down 5.7 rebounds just to top it off. Yes, that sounds amazing, but that's only the surface. What's even crazier is that Clark still didn't get a unanimous vote for Rookie of the Year, even though she ruled almost every rookie stat out there.
We were making the point, do you want to promote the league or not? And people like Andrea and others were resistant to that playing a role in somebody making the roster.
One vote went to Chicago Sky rookie Angel Reese instead of the clear winner, and this was not just some harmless accident. Instead, it was a kind of wild move that sent shockwaves through the league, leaving fans holding their heads and analysts trying to understand what just happened. After all, if there was ever a rookie who deserved every single vote, it was Caitlin Clark, so why did she not get it? Why did that one strange vote happen?
They argue that it hurts the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving.
Turns out when everything settled, Caitlin ended up getting 66 out of 67 votes for the Rookie of the Year award. The votes came from a mix of 43 national sports writers and 24 local journalists from different WNBA cities. That is a lot of people all agreeing on one thing. So how does one strange vote slip in? And this was not just someone trying to be different or having another opinion. This vote felt like a cheap punch aimed straight at Caitlin Clark's perfect season, a planned move to make sure her record would not look flawless. And that is when the story starts getting interesting, because this was not just about Angel Reese getting a random mention. This was about someone trying to mess with Caitlin's perfect run. But who? Not Cheryl Swoops, because she does not even have the power to vote in this race, so we can cross that idea off the list. Because when it came out that this single vote belonged to journalist Cameron Duncan, everyone started asking the same question: why Reese? I mean, Reese had okay numbers, but she was not even close to Clark's record-breaking season, so why did Duncan choose to give his vote to her? Well, the rumor going around is that this was not really Duncan acting alone. According to Talk on the Street, WNBA superstar A'ja Wilson, yes, that same A'ja, may have been involved. Wilson has been dominating the league and collecting trophies non-stop, so why would someone that big get mixed up in something as small as one Rookie of the Year vote? This is where things get wild, because in 2024 A'ja Wilson became the first player since Cynthia Cooper in 1997 to win the MVP award unanimously. She got all 67 votes, which was an unbelievable achievement and made her the only player in the modern WNBA to ever win MVP with every single vote.
You know, the WNBA continues to kill the golden goose. Now, I must clarify something. A lot of you are hitting me up with, why hasn't the WNBA talked about their Rookie of the Year award since Caitlin Clark, it's been released, is the Rookie of the Year? Well, they haven't announced any awards.
But then Caitlin Clark showed up climbing fast and starting to threaten Wilson's big moment of glory. All of a sudden, Wilson was not about to let some rookie walk in and take away the one thing that made her special, a perfect record. So when Clark started picking up rookie votes, Wilson allegedly stepped in, determined to stop Caitlin from doing something she herself had already done, winning unanimously. This is where it stops being petty and turns into full drama. Duncan's vote was not random. Instead, it was planned. According to reports, Wilson pushed Duncan to back Reese just to make sure Clark would not win with every single vote, not because Reese deserved it. She was not even close. Wilson wanted to block Clark from getting a unanimous league vote and becoming the only player with that kind of perfect record, so this was a straight power move. Duncan was the piece she used because this was no longer just about Clark being good, it was about Clark becoming a threat to Wilson's legacy.
Said, why don't you like Angel Reese? Why don't you like the black people? You black. Why don't, they've made it a race thing. They've made it you can't stand her thing. They've made it all this stuff. And I'm making it a basketball thing. As a former player, as a former coach, as a person who just got eyes to see, Angel Reese was not going to be Rookie of the Year. There really wasn't a contest.
What about Reese in all of this? Honestly, she was just unlucky, caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, and while her stats were not very impressive, she was the perfect distraction, someone whose name would keep people talking long enough for Wilson to stay on top. Reese ended up getting attention she did not really earn, while Wilson's little plan started falling apart right in front of the whole league, so Duncan got hit with backlash and Wilson had to sit quietly and act like she had nothing to do with it until now. On top of that, people like Molly chimed in saying players like Clark are not even talented enough to be calling out anything shady in the first place, really, so Clark can score almost 20 points a game but suddenly she is not good enough to speak up. Molly, let's just act like stats do not matter when it fits the story, right? And if you thought that was the end, think again, because this was not only about Clark missing a unanimous vote, this was a message-sending power move. Even though Caitlin Clark might be the biggest star in the WNBA right now, Wilson is still the queen, and if anyone tries to step on her territory they will quickly learn who is really in charge. One strange vote messed up Clark's Rookie of the Year win, but that single vote exposed a whole new level of league politics and ego battles, because if someone like Iga Wilson can influence an award just by whispering to one journalist, then what else is happening behind closed doors? Clark might not be stressing over it, but the fans are angry and the league's image has taken a serious blow.
The WNBA has no idea what it's doing with Caitlin Clark. Can we all agree on that? They have no idea. It's a hostile league to Caitlin Clark.
Even worse, the league's response was pretty much nothing. No investigations, no official comments, just silence. It feels like the WNBA wants to pretend nothing ever happened, hoping fans and Caitlin Clark will just forget about it, because when a player's unanimous Rookie of the Year win gets taken away right out in the open, the whole sport ends up paying the price. And as for Iga Wilson, well, she might have escaped any real damage to her image. Let's be real, you probably assumed she was just being competitive. After all, she has been through the grind and knows how hard it is to fight for respect, but honestly, you probably told yourself she was just being competitive, right?
Angry racist before Caitlin Clark even got in, and I thought this was interesting yesterday. Sue Bird addressed that and her racist tweets prior to Caitlin Clark even being in the WNBA. In fact, racist tweets prior to Caitlin Clark being Caitlin Clark, if you know what I mean.
Yes, you really heard that. When talk of racial bias came up, the fight over one Rookie of the Year vote quickly turned into something much bigger. This was not just some random angry tweet. Instead, people began seeing that single vote as a sign of a deeper problem quietly happening in the WNBA, a league where race isn't talked about much but still seems to decide who gets the spotlight and who gets left out. Now, you might think this is too much since it was only one vote, but when you look closely, it's hard to ignore the pattern, because there is no doubt Clark's win was backed by the stats. 19.2 points a game. She wasn't just a good rookie, she was clearly the best rookie by far, with 8.4 assists and 5.7 rebounds every game, yet somehow one writer still gave their vote to Angel Reese instead of her.
Like Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team. So don't do that. Don't make it seem like she was averaging 5 points and this was like a handout.
No, it wasn't a handout.
Look at her numbers. Look at her numbers, comparable to the other guards that were on the team. That's all I'm saying.
And while everyone was busy blaming Duncan for her strange choice, the real question nobody asked was, did Duncan act alone? The answer is pretty clear to anyone paying attention. No, she didn't. This wasn't about Duncan's opinion of Clark's first-time performance. Instead, it was part of a bigger story being twisted by people with a lot more power.
How in the world could anyone who understands sports believe truly that Angel Reese should be Rookie of the
Racial controversy has always followed Wilson. This showed up back in 2020 when another white rookie, Serena Williams, started getting huge attention. Wilson made a very blunt comment that had the league buzzing. She said they love their darlings. You know how it goes. Wilson didn't mention any names, but everyone knew exactly who she meant.
They want to see someone like Caitlin Clark do her thing. They want to see behind-the-back passes, deep three. They want to see somebody helping their teammate. That's in every sport. Nobody gives a rat's ass, really, about what's going on off the field with NFL players. Sure, you question why Rashid Rice.
And now it's happening again, only this time Clark is in the spotlight. So what does Wilson do? She steps in behind the scenes too, if the rumors are true, making sure Clark's unanimous win isn't really unanimous. The wild part is she didn't even have to say a word, but you have to understand that Clark missing that one vote is just the start of the story. The real story is how race, power, and politics are shaping who gets to be the face of the WNBA. Even before Clark stepped on the court, the system was stacked against her, and until Carrington and Wilson are called out, the so-called progressive league will keep playing by the same old rules, and players like Clark will keep paying the price. Clark didn't just lose a vote.